The systems perspective on organizations builds on the basic principle that the organization is a constant interaction with multiple environments. And these multiple environments include the social, political, economic, cultural, and technology. And they must be able to adapt to environmental changes. In addition, organizations are made up of interrelated subsystems that must be integrated in order to achieve the organization's goals and meet these environmental demands. So when we think in terms of systems perspectives or systems theories with respect to formal organizations, we look in terms of its outputs, we look in terms of inputs and outputs and conversion processes as it relates to these, what's the interactions of these different systems. The two main theories that exist within systems theory is the political economy model and the learning organization theory. The political economy model focuses on the dependence of organizations on their environments for necessary resources. The organization depends on the environment for political and economic resources. The more dependent the organization is on the environment, the greater the influence the environment will have on the organization. And its influence will either be political or economic. The second theory, learning organization theory, states that to survive in modern society, organizations must become complex systems that are capable of constant learning. The organization must be proactive and flexible, and it must develop a sense of mission, norms, values, and limits that serve as a reference point or as reference points to guide organizational behavior. The main idea is that organizations must be able to learn and change in a rapidly changing environment. The third perspective is the interpretive perspective. The major theme of the interpretive perspective is that the organization is a social construction of reality. Theories of organizations within the interpretive perspective are quite diverse, but they all share this one basic premise that I've already stated, and that is that organizations are creations of human consciousness and reflect the worldviews of creators. They are social constructions of reality. These theories reject the rational and the systems perspective, emphasizing a diversity of approaches and focusing on process rather than goals. And as you can see, there's been a progression with respect to the theories up to this, up to the interpretive theory. The previous focusing on goals, and now we're focusing on process. This perspective promotes human agency in creating organizations and challenges the constraints of external forces. There are four different theories within the interpretive perspective: the social action model, organizational culture model, managing diversity model, discourse theory of public administration. The social action model, known as Silverman's social action model, has been recently corrected in discussing the limitations to his theory of organizations, emphasizing the active role of individuals in creating the organization by acknowledging the influence of history and social structure. Silverman further noted that in his original portrayal of human behavior as being free and undeterminedly failed to recognize the influence of cultural scripts as well as the tendency of humans to think that they are behaving more freely than in actuality. So we're really not behaving as free as we think we are because of other constraints. The organizational cultural model proposes that organizations are cultures whose members have shared experiences producing shared meanings or interpretations. The culture of the organization is constantly evolving and is not always unitary. There are competing value systems and beliefs that produce subcultures or cultural divisions based on differing functions within the organizations. For example, if you're in a court system, there may be different cultures that may exist among your probation staff versus your detention center staff, or versus your legal staff, in what may be going on, in that particular agency. According to this theory, organizations choose their environments and interact with them based on interpretive designs. Managing diversity model. Here, the main idea is that organizational systems and practice should maximize the potential advantages of diversity in organizational membership. It suggests that organizations cannot succeed unless they learn to manage diverse populations. Organizations that manage diversity well have the advantage in creativity, problem solving, and flexibility. When diversity is not effectively managed, then it creates another set of problems, that is, problems with employee morale, communications, and delayed decision-making. Discourse theory of public administration states that human behavior is more political than rational, that organizations are social constructions created by a struggle over meanings, and that these differing meanings are reflected in tensions about organizational goals. Thus, the main idea is facilitating discourse about differences among the organization's members is the most effective way to achieve organizational goals. The method suggested is to facilitate honest, open public discourse between disparate groups about public issues, and have an open dialogue with individuals within the organization. When you think in terms of the interpretive perspective, you need to think in terms of the diversity, and that diversity has different meanings for different people. You need to know who these principal actors are, what are their goals, how have they been involved, what strategies have been used, and what are the consequences resulting from the different approaches and the resolutions that you have strived for as a manager.